Everyone, Rob Bonta here. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for coming to DOJ's third Immigrant Rights Regional Convening. We've had two others throughout the state, and we have more planned. We had one in the Los Angeles area and then the San Francisco Bay Area. And I want to start today by thanking Sacramento ACT, as well as Executive Director Gabby Trejo, Parkside Community Church, and Reverend Carla Dietz for hosting us today. We're excited to be here, looking forward to the conversation we're going to have with many leaders in the region shortly. I also want to acknowledge the staff members who are here representing Senator Jerry McNerney's office, as well as Assembly Majority Leader Cecilia Aguiar Curry's office, and Assembly Member Esmeralda Soria's office. Also, Yumi Sarah from the Office of Community Partnerships and Strategic Communications, and the Governor's office is here. So, as always, we are proud and excited to collaborate and work with our partners on issues of shared values, as we are today. Finally, I'd like to recognize DOJ's Civil Rights Enforcement Section and our Office of Community Awareness, Response, and Engagement, or our CARE team, who put together this event and the resources that we will share today, and who remain engaged and ready to serve our communities through whatever challenges we are facing and we will face together. As President-elect Trump and his incoming administration's threats to our immigrant communities continue, California DOJ is here to protect, defend, and enforce immigrant rights, regardless of who is in the White House, regardless of who controls Congress, just as we did during Trump's first term. When we filed 120 lawsuits and won a vast majority of the time. If necessary, we are ready, willing, and able to do that again in Trump 2.0. During Trump 1.0, we successfully defended DACA before the Supreme Court. When that was challenged by the Trump administration, the court determined that Trump was acting illegally and unlawfully, and DACA was upheld. We were able to block the public charge rule from going into effect, a proposed rule that expanded public charge. We successfully defended SB 54, California's California Values Act, but in the court system. We successfully fought Trump's border wall and saved critical state funding, billions of dollars in the process. So again, we are ready, willing, and able to do that again if necessary under Trump 2.0. We've been here before. We've won. We're ready to do it again. We're ready. We're prepared. We've been preparing for weeks and for months on the issues that we expect to come from the Trump administration 2.0. President-elect Trump's latest plans for mass deportations and arrests, his claims that he'll deport U.S. citizens and use the military to execute his plans are inhumane, illogical, and fiscally irresponsible. Immigrants are the backbone of our nation. Immigrants make America great. Immigrants make California great. California is home to nearly 11 million immigrants. The most immigrants in the United States of America live here in California. Our immigrant communities make up 27% of our incredible population, more than any other state in the nation, proudly so. Immigrants who are our neighbors, our friends, our loved ones, immigrants who bring new ideas, innovations, perspectives. Again, immigrants who make us great here in America, here in California. It's no coincidence that California is the most diverse state in the nation and also the fifth largest economy in the world. Immigrants drive California's workforce. Immigrants drive California's economy. 1 in 3 workers in our state are immigrants. Immigrants and children of immigrants make up over half of all workers here in California. I don't just say this as Attorney General. I say this as someone who was born in a different country, someone who was born in the Philippines, someone who, upon being born, my parents asked themselves if they could raise me there in the Philippines at that place at that time and ensure that I had the things they wanted for me that were non-negotiable, that I had democracy, that I had freedom, that I had the rule of law, that I had human rights, civil rights, due process. Their answer, unfortunately, was no. A dictator was rising to power. Martial law was around the corner, so my parents brought me from the Philippines here as an infant, here to California, and raised me here. They believed that here in California I could live my California dream, I could reach my full potential. And they knew that here, if they fought for it, and they did, that I could have the things that they wanted for me that were not available in the Philippines: democracy and freedom, due process, and human rights. And my mom lived here in California lawfully for years as a lawful permanent resident. She had a green card. And we moved from LA later to La Paz, where my parents worked for the United Farm Workers of America. And ultimately, my mom made a decision to become a U.S. citizen. And that decision was, after decades, again, living as a lawful permanent resident. I was running for my first local office, my first competitive campaign, and my mom said that she wanted to become a U.S. citizen so she could vote for me. And so she did. And I knew that from that race on, I would never get shut out in any race. I would always have at least one vote from my mom. And so, so she became a U.S. citizen. And I think she's voted for me in every election since then. I hope so. But it's her secret ballot. Only she will know. And my story is not unique in California. It is one of millions of stories in California, across this country, where that dream of finding something better, of having opportunity, of having a better life for yourselves, for your kids, for their kids, is manifested and has created who we are in California and in this country. We're a land of immigrants, and we're better off for it. I don't know any other way to put it. California's diversity is our story. It's our strength. It makes us great. It's our secret sauce. It's our X factor. It makes us who we are. And immigrants are such a critical part of that story. Unfortunately, not everyone sees it that way. As the president-elect makes clear, his intent to move forward with a destructive immigration agenda, I'm here to reassure California's immigrant communities that they have my support and that I have their back, and they will continue to have my support and the support of my team at the California DOJ no matter what comes. Our values will not change. Our support is steadfast, and that's what these regional convenings are all about. They're an opportunity for my office to share resources, information, knowledge with community members and advocates, to listen to their concerns, to co-create solutions, to understand better the challenges that are being faced on the ground, to discuss our ongoing efforts and further opportunities for collaboration. So we're looking forward to doing that shortly. There are also opportunities where we release resources, guidance, information about the state of the law, about rights that our immigrant communities enjoy and will continue to have, and that we will defend and protect, and to share other duties and obligations, prohibitions, and what is permitted. So today we're releasing 2 resources that will help ensure the educational rights of immigrant students and families, and prepare teachers and administrators for what may come. And let me be clear here on these issues. Every child has the right to a free public education, regardless of their immigration status. Every child and family also has the right to keep their education records and personal information confidential. The guide for students and families we're putting out today outlines all of that and more, so you can reference those guides for some of the details and nuances. The second resource provides guidance to assist school officials in complying with state law limiting state and local participation in immigration enforcement activities. So we get a lot of questions from our different government officials, city, local, education, also those who are at hospitals and courthouses. What are we required to do? What does state law require? What does federal law require? And we understand those concerns, and we want to provide guidance in response so that folks understand the rights that are enjoyed by Californians and the duties and obligations they have under the law. These resources that we're providing are available in English. They're available in Spanish, Chinese, Korean, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. My team will also share a number of resources that we've released over the last several weeks. They've already been released, but We want all of these, this sort of depository of resources, to be all in one place, available as needed for reference and for guidance. We have a broader Know Your Rights guidance. We have guidance on how to spot and avoid immigration-related scams. We have guidance and model policies for public institutions, other public institutions besides schools, including public health care facilities, courthouses, and libraries. And we know that all of this can be complex, it can be daunting, it can be intimidating, which is why we're hosting these convenings, to demystify, to help understand, to provide clarity, openness, and transparency, to raise awareness, to empower our communities and those that serve them. We're also here to listen, to understand what our communities need, to see where we can help, to help identify issues that we may have missed, but we want to know about. And so these conversations help lift up those issues for us. And that's just a snippet of what you'll hear in today's convening. It's only the start of what we're planning to provide to communities. In the weeks and months ahead, we'll roll out additional guidance, additional resources, so stay tuned as to what's coming next. Additionally, our CARE team will hold a virtual community briefing on immigrant rights resources at 11 a.m. on January 10th. All are welcome to attend. If you'd like to learn more and register, you can go to oag.ca.gov/CARE. And I urge immigrants and their families, state agencies, public institutions, elected officials, advocacy organizations, and nonprofits to join us at our briefings and at our convenings. I encourage you to reach out to our team, take advantage of the guidance we're putting out, and share it with your networks. As we near Inauguration Day, I know there's a tremendous amount of fear, of anxiety, confusion, and I want to assure you California DOJ is here to protect, to defend, and to enforce our state's laws and protections. We will not move on that. We're here to represent all of California's beautifully diverse communities. As California's Attorney General, I'm here for you. I have your back. I will support you. You can be sure that if Trump attacks the rights of our immigrants, I will take action. While we may be entering days, months, and years of uncertainty, I find assurance in knowing that in California, progress will prevail. We are committed to that, to staying on our current trajectory of progress and forging ahead. California is and will remain the beacon of progress it has long been. Let me give a few comments in Spanish. Le pido a los inmigrantes y sus familias que se comuniquen con nuestro equipo. Por favor, revisen la información que estamos publicando. El día de la inauguración ya casi está aquí y sé que hay una enorme cantidad de miedo, ansiedad y confusión. Quiero asegurarles el Departamento de Justicia de California está aquí para proteger, defender y aplicar las leyes y protecciones de nuestro Estado. Representar a todas las comunidades diversas de California. Como fiscal general de California, estoy aquí para ustedes. Pueden estar seguros de que si Trump ataca los derechos de nuestros inmigrantes, tomaré acción. Aunque estemos entrando en días, meses y años de incertidumbre, me tranquiliza saber que el progreso prevalecerá en California. California es y seguirá siendo el faro de progreso que siempre ha sido. Before I end, I want to again thank the members of my team who make all of this possible. The Civil Rights Enforcement section who prepared the resources that we'll be sharing today, that we've shared in weeks past, and who are working on additional materials, who will help to lead the coming legal battles, and our CARE team, who work directly with community organizations, with advocacy groups, with members of the public to ensure that all of California's diverse communities have access to our office. That's a very important part of our team where we know it's important to be interfacing regularly with members of the public And so our care team takes the lead in that space, and we're grateful for all that they do. While no one at DOJ is here for the glory, they certainly don't do it for the recognition. Our team does it because they're mission-driven and want to make a difference in the lives of those that they serve. I do want to give a shout-out to some of the individuals who made today possible. Efrain Boteo Cisneros, Ben Nate, Mahin Ahmed, Kat New, and Damon Brown. I thank you all for your efforts today, for getting us to this point. Thank you for all of you for attending, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have before we commence the convening.